Hello, I'm Zitali, and it's my live stream for the art raffle. So I'll be drawing names shortly. But before I do, I just want to make sure everyone can hear me okay and the music isn't too loud. So if you could just let me know in the comment section if it sounds okay. It might be a bit echoey because I'm in a small room, but hopefully otherwise you can hear me okay. Excellent. Now, we might do some drawing afterwards if people are keen and if there's enough people on. I'll also let you know I'm using the mic on my tablet, which means if I do a bit of drawing, you will hear some tapping noise, but it's not going to be very loud. I've already tested it. All right, well, I guess we'll get on with drawing winners. Hey, Xanti! Did you enter? I didn't see you enter. It didn't seem fair. You could enter if you want to. I haven't spun the wheel yet. Just run off and comment on one of my drawings. Yeah, but you paid for it. It's perfectly fair if you want to go enter quickly. And that's if anybody else is listening, if you still want to enter, I can still add names to the wheel. All you need to do is go comment on your favorite video of mine and say, this is my favorite. You don't want to leave now. Okay. Yeah, go, go. I'm doing a art giveaway. There was a video up that had instructions. So if anybody's just joining now and they didn't know about it, I'll be spinning a raffle wheel shortly. If you haven't entered, I'll give you 5 minutes to enter now. All you'll need to do is go find your favorite video of mine and comment on it with "This is my favorite." It would be nice if you say why it's your favorite, but if people are in a rush, I don't mind. I'll give you 5 minutes and then I'll be adding the rest to the wheel and we'll be spinning it. There's three prizes to be won. I'll be spinning for third place prize first, which is just a sketch with flat color. It'll be an avatar or profile pic. So just a sort of a headshot. Second prize will be a full colored one, but doesn't come with a background, your own drawn background or border, but you can still select from my pre-made backgrounds and borders. And first place will be a profile pic or avatar, fully colored, and you get to choose your own background and border to be made. All right, I'm just gonna quickly check if anyone else has entered. Tell me if you've tried for a second entry because I'll have to check my other social medias quick. Harper, are you going to enter? I think my chat's super delayed. Yep, I see you there. Don't mind me. This is just my way of doing this. Yeah, it's still one of my favorites too, though. I don't know, I just like hit the magic mark on that picture. I was really happy with it, and I really like the colors too, so it's always fun to draw a character. And yeah, the Crazy Geoking one was cool too. I like the crown. I like doing different things. Like if I haven't done them before, it's kind of fun. So like doing a crown. I don't really often do crowns, so now because I'm color orientated, I have to make sure these are all in the right color order and that they're all specific colors. So it's a pretty rainbow wheel. If you entered twice, because there was a way you could get a second entry. So if you commented on one of my videos, you were eligible for one entry. But then if you went and commented on one of my pictures on Kara, Instagram, or DeviantArt, you got a second entry. So you did actually comment on my Instagram as well. You can't win twice. You get twice the chance of winning, though. So you can only get one prize per person, but it increases your chances of winning. I don't know why my keyboard splits like this when I turn my tablet sideways, but it's really annoying. I think it's for like, that's actually how people type or whatever, but I hate it. I wish it wouldn't do that. There were 20 before these two were added, so there'll be 22. I think I needed this color. Oop. Where did that go? Yeah. All right. Anybody else want to try squeeze in a entry before I roll? All right, we're gonna do this now. So, now these aren't in any order, so I'll randomize the names just to make sure. Does it look pretty? Yeah, I like colors too. I don't know if you noticed. All right, we're ready. This is for third place. So if you win, your name will be removed. Now it doesn't let me remove both names. So if you have two entries and I spin your name again, we're just gonna move on. We'll just roll it again. Secondly, I can't pronounce anything, so I apologize in advance if I mispronounce your usernames. Let's go. Let's do it for third place. It's AmiciArt. I think that's how you say it. AmiciArt, yay! I'm sorry if I say your name wrong, but you've won third place. So you'll be getting a profile pic drawn by me of your choice. It'll be a sketch with flat colors, and you can choose to add some of my pre-made backgrounds and borders if you like. You'll have to tell me how they actually pronounce it. I'll do my best. All right, so I think I can take that slice out. And now we're gonna spin for, I'm pretty sure I remember who won, but I'm just gonna note it down. There we go. Now this is for second place, so this will be a fully colored profile pic, and you can still choose to add a background and border from my pre-made ones, but you won't get one like drawn from scratch. Are we ready? Amici? Is that how you say it? Amici? Or Amici? I'm Australian, so my accent's weird. Okay, cool. All right, I'm spinning again. Second place. Oh, it adds. Whee! Oh, Xanti! Xanti! You got second place. Yay! You're gonna get another. Oh, you could, I suppose you could choose to have your redesign characters done. All right, so now we're gonna do first place. So this will be to have fully colored profile pic, and you get to choose your own background and your own border to be drawn. If you like my pre-made ones, you can also just choose those, whatever floats your boat. All right, first place prize. Let's spin it. I'll give it a good spin. Shadowzss. Are they here today? Are you here? Congratulations anyway. You won first place. Just the ads giving away my location. That's fine. Well, congratulations, everybody. Oh, did it record sound? I can't hear any sound. Was there sound when I was spinning the wheel? Okay, all right. I was gonna say it shouldn't make sound because it's on Do Not Disturb. Oh, you had me worried. Yeah, I've got a boom speaker in the background with music on low because the speakers on my tablet is quite sensitive, and you could hear everything without music. So you could hear the humming of my computer and stuff. And what's hilarious is I'd love to do it to creep people out, but it's kind of hurts your ears after a while. If I turn my speaker on, I can make some really scary, creepy echo noises that was kind of fun to listen to when I was setting stuff up, but I'm not sure it's such a good idea on a full live stream. Thank you. All right, so did people want to hang about and watch me draw for a bit, or what would you like to do? Or ask questions. Feel free to ask questions. All right, I haven't done a live stream draw in a long time. Oh, my little face is in the way. Go away. Not you guys. My face is kind of in the way of my tablet. I just gotta change this background color. I'm just gonna turn a weird direction. There we go. So I just had to change the color of the background because I can't stand painting or drawing directly onto white. How's drawing avatars going? I've drawn a lot. I'm gonna tell you that. I finally got past April. There was 220 of them drawn during April. That's why it's taking so long. But the good news is that now I'm past April. Most other months only have 10 or 20 in them. So I'll be done with May. I think I might already be done with May. And then by the end of the month, I might be done with June and July. But yeah, now the big chunk was day one. There was 160 entries on day one. So I'm sorry if you guys have been waiting and it's been taking a long time. I've been, slowly getting through them. But I think there's about 150 left to do, and I've done 220. So yeah, it's a lot. This is going to be my biggest drawing year ever. My biggest drawing year previously was the year I finished high school, and I just finished high school and I didn't have a job, and so I just drew all the time, and I'd just gotten into DeviantArt, so I was sharing art with people, and like people actually, they were into the same stuff I was, so it was really fun. So I just drew like every single day. But since then I've had a job, so it's kind of hard to find time to draw consistently when you have a job. I'm just really lucky that recently me and my husband paid off our house, so that gave us the opportunity for both of us to quit our full-time soul-crushing jobs. And when we did that, I got a job that was part-time instead of full-time, and that gave me more time to draw. And I'd already been drawing fan art for Day of Dragons, and then they asked me to join their team, and then I dropped like nearly all my hours with my other job. So I only do 1 day a week at what people might call a real job. A boring job is what I call it. It's just a call center job. 1 day a week there, and then the rest is just whatever I want to do. Most of it I use for Day of Dragons, and then some of it I use for my own stuff like this. Yeah, it's always great to see. I should probably start drawing something, huh? Stop talking. No, talk and draw. That's the key. It's been really cool to see like people's reaction to the avatars, because it's, people don't normally know the person behind the arts. They just play the game. They don't know what parts I've had any involvement in. And I don't really hear like if people are enjoying my art or not. But the avatars have been very personal. It's like been a personal gift for both me and them. So I've really enjoyed drawing them and seeing people's reaction and how happy they are. And I know some people think that they might be annoying me, but when people get like picky about what they want, I don't mind that. Like, I think that's great if you have something you specifically want and you want to get it right. I want to get it right too. I want to make it something special. So it's been really great. What do I draw? Like a dragon, I suppose. Do you have any drawing suggestions? Anything you want to see me draw? I know how to draw all the Day of Dragons dragon heads off by heart. No, not a hybrid. I've drawn too many. Draw a duck. Yeah, everybody does. I've drawn so many hybrids. At the start, it was nothing. It was just hybrids for miles. Everyone loves them. They are cool. They were a combination of, two of the favorite dragons. So yeah, hybrid's definitely the most popular, and then Frostfell was pretty close second for a while. And yeah, there were quite a few shadow scales at the start, but not so much now. So probably then Flamestalker's the next most popular drawn avatar. But I like drawing Singe Crests and Title Shocks because they are my favorites and they're easy to draw. I'm gonna draw a duck. Yeah. I'm going to draw a duck. Have I ever drawn a duck? I don't think I have. All right. I'm a messy drawer. I have slightly shaky hands, so unless I have like smoothing on, my lines get quite wobbly, which is why I generally don't do line art. I just go straight to color and then hide all my hideous mistakes in the color. But everyone draws different. My husband basically only does line art. He goes nearly straight to pen. I don't know how he does that. Here's my duck. It's got no eyes. Don't get me wrong, I like, I still enjoy drawing them. I've just drawn so many of them. And in the beginning, I don't know if anybody noticed, but I'll mention it now anyway. I'll out myself. In the beginning, when I started doing the avatars, the hybrid hadn't been finished, designed, so I didn't know what the differences were with the female and males yet. They hadn't decided that yet. And I couldn't see the top of the head properly. There weren't any good sort of reference pictures for the top of the dragon's head because it was the model, the in-game model hadn't been sort of fully done yet. So like I probably did about 5 of them, and then it was like, this is what the female looks like, and this is actually what the top of the head looks like. So if you go back to the early stuff, you'll see the first hybrids I did had plating on the top of the head, not spikes. And some of them you might notice have 6 pairs of spikes on the head instead of like big horns instead of 5, because I didn't realize, I couldn't see that there was only 5 and not 6. And the females all have the spiky chin when actually they're not supposed to. I thought about offering people that like I could do edits, but I think I should probably finish the ones I've still got to do before I start going back and editing old ones. Xanti's my duck, okay? You better say yes. Good. Is my amazing messy paint style. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to know? I'm a pretty open person, so you can pretty much just ask me anything. I still plan to finish that. Dragon. It is still, the video is still on my tablet, and the file is still on my tablet, and my tablet is overloaded all the time, and I have to delete stuff all the time. I generally have to keep this tablet clean or it just crashes on me because it's not the newest anymore. So once I've done like a week's worth of avatars, I actually remove them all from the tablet and save them to my cloud and remove all the video recordings because there's a lot of video recordings on this tablet. But the fridge dragon is still on there because I still have this idea that I'm going to finish it one day. So I will do it. A duck dragon. My favorite dragon are day dragons. This is cheating, but there's 2. originally it was the Singe Crest, but then they made the Title Shock. And the Title Shock is basically my own dragon character. Like, I have my own dragon character. It's sort of Long Drake-ish with electric powers. So it's like, wow. The only difference is that my dragon doesn't really do the swimming thing. It does the sky swimming thing. So I kind of have to choose Title Shock. But I really like the Singe Crest. I like helping people. I like being, like healing and stuff. So I'm really excited to play as the Singe Crest. And I really like drawing them too, because they're in the comic. So I'd started drawing them, and we got to like pick the colors together for the ancient healer and stuff. So yeah, they're my two favorites. And before they were released, the Shadow Scale was. I'll do a dark dragon. I'm just trying to get the right green for this duck's head. Yeah, that's about right. What's everyone else's favorites? Or favorite dragons in general, or just, well, I guess if I ask you what your favorite creature is, that's quite broad. I imagine most of you guys have come from Day of Dragons, so I think asking what your favorite Day of Dragons character is pretty fair. Oh, my mum sucks at flying too. Sorry, Mum, if you're listening. I tried so hard to teach her to fly, but in her defense, we were playing on Sanctuary, and we live in Australia, so the ping is really bad for us. Now, I, for some reason, magically have no problem with my 300 ping. I rarely have any rubber banding, and I can normally play fine. But my mum has very old computers. She has 8 computers. My mum's insane. She builds her own computers. She's pretty cool, my mum. Yeah, it was rubber banding so bad for her that when she was trying to press F to fly, it wouldn't register she pressed it until she hit the ground. So we gave up, and I walked her to the quests so she could do it. Having 4 favorites is cheap. At least I only had 2.5. Oh, Skyrim. I played Skyrim back in the day. If you like aquatic dragons, you'll probably like the Title Shock, which is like a noodle dragon that lives in the deep sea and like kills its enemies and stuff with electricity. It's not released yet, but the model is currently in the game as an NPC as part of the Christmas event. Yeah, Spyro's up there, hey. I didn't play Spyro when I was younger. I got the remastered version and played it, and then my husband liked it so much he bought a little Spyro model. Your own character dragon. I mean, if you've got your own custom-made dragon, it's kind of hard to say your favorite is something else. That's kind of... If your favorite is something else, then what's going on? Like, my character dragon, I specifically designed to be all my favorite colors and shapes, so it's the most pleasing thing in the world for me to color and draw. Anyway, here's a duck. Let's make a duck dragon. Oh, what did I do? That's not what I meant to do. I meant to merge it. That's fine. It's fine. I'll just tidy it up. Just a tiny bit. Duck. If anybody's interested interested, I'm using Artflow is the program I like to use purely because it's so simple, but it still has like everything I need. Like the screen is just so uncluttered, which is what I love about it. But it still has everything like clipping layers and stuff, which makes things easy. The problem I have with it nowadays is that it's not really supported by the developer anymore. So I've got, as mentioned, I've got this problem with my tablet that if it gets too many files and too many projects on it, it just stops working properly, and specifically Artflow stops working properly. So it just will like stop responding on one side of the screen, or I'll open a file and it'll just have decided it needs to be flipped upside down for some reason. And then I have to clean everything off my tablet and reload everything. So I've been trying to switch to a different drawing program, but they're just too cluttered. I tried to use Clip Studio. I've been using Clip Studio. I made a solid effort during Qvember. I used it a bit and it was pretty good, but there are still a couple of things I don't like about it. I don't like that you can't see what scale you're drawing things at. Like, see, when I zoom in and out with this, you can see down the bottom how big the image actually is, so I can know if I'm drawing at 100%. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have an easy way to access your layers. Like, you always have to go into a menu, which is annoying. And it lags a little bit because it's actually a giant beefy program. It's actually, Clip Art Studio is like Photoshop level big, and it just has a simple mode, but the big one is still there in the background. You just switch between them, so it does lag a little bit, but I could get used to it when this eventually dies. I just like this so much. I just customized it so much, and like, I've got all these custom brushes I made, and now I have to figure out how to remake them in Clip Studio, and it's not as easy. Oh, hey, Ash. Hey, thanks for popping in. I love all the little, those cute drawings you do. They always make me laugh. I love them. The bug eyes, and it's really cool. I can't do line art, so it's cool to see when people actually can do smooth, cool looking, relatively cool looking dragons. A wyvern duck. Okay. I'm gonna think this out now. We're drawing a duck dragon. Yeah, I'm using a tablet, like a Android tablet. I've got a PC as well, and I used to always draw on the PC with like a Wacom tablet, but that's kind of how I stopped drawing. Oh, this is horrendous. I just didn't have time to sit at a computer, and the computer's in a different room, so I never got to hang out with my husband or anything. It was just like I'd sit at the computer with a giant tablet. It would take me hours upon hours to do my drawings, and I just sort of lost motivation for it. And then I started playing D&D with a group of friends, and I started sketching in like a sketchbook. And then I bought a tablet just to see what it would be like a little Tab A or something. It was like a little dingy Android tablet, but it came with a pen, and you could use Wacom pens with it. Where's Clear gone? So I suddenly started drawing a lot more because I could just like sit at the TV, you know, whilst watching TV. I could do a bunch of drawings, and I didn't have to turn on the computer and have a massive tablet sitting on my lap. I just have the little Android tablet, and I just found it way easier to be motivated to draw. So the tablet's the reason why I started drawing again, and then Day of Dragons is why I started drawing dragons. Yeah, well, my husband uses a computer all the time. We have 2 computers, and the one in the lounge room, he does all of these comic stuff on. Like, he draws his comic pages in real life with pen and paper, and then he scans them, and he does all the coloring in Photoshop on the computer. And I've got a spare tablet because I, upgrade. And this doesn't really look like a duck or a dragon. But he is averse to changing technologies, so he won't do it. Let's give it like cartoon duck spikes. I don't like them. Yeah, I tried to choose a time that everyone would at least be able to come onto the start, but it's a bit difficult, especially since we have daylight savings on down here. I can't really get a time that suits America, Europe, and Australia. I just kind of have to find a time that almost suits everyone. So, sorry, European people, you kind of got the raw end of this deal this time. Give it a little tail. I mean, I call this a little tail. A little flicky ducktail? Ducktail. Ooh. Do you really watch DuckTales? Does anybody watch the new DuckTales? Oh, I just learnt that ducks' noses are way up high, so I should do that. Now, we're doing it a wyvern, but do we want it like the Infernal Ravager with its wings resting on the ground, or do we want it like the Singed Cress? I'm a duck. I don't think it looked very duck-like. All right. I'm gonna Google duck feet. Don't mind me if I Google duck feet. I shouldn't have Googled duck feet. Wow, I didn't know that was a condition. Don't Google duck feet. Well, at least I didn't get mostly AI this time. Did they just have 3 toes? Yeah, the colors will make it clearer, you're right. Yeah, they kind of just have 3 toes and just a little hang on at the back. This is bad. I know what's going on here, so it's fine. So don't worry about it. Ducks don't really have swan necks. I guess swans have swan necks. Could be a bit longer though. Kind of looks more like a chicken. I think its body needs to be a bit longer too. Great. I'm glad you love it. All right. I'm gonna wings, different layer. I don't think I have enough room. I'm gonna have to, I'll just give it some breathing room. Wings, huh? Yeah, okay. I'm messy, so I'm just gonna turn this down so I can actually see what I'm doing with these wings. They're wrong anyway. I already did them wrong. Okay, try again. So, elbow like here. You're not gonna see any of the feet though. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. Well, the people already won the art, I'm afraid. It was at the start of the stream. Yeah, YouTube, I don't know. I try my best, but YouTube has these algorithms, and I make a video and I post it and I try to promote it, and then nobody sees it. So, I don't know how many people actually saw the video that said that I was going to run an art raffle and this is how you enter, even though I like tried to push it and allow people to see it. It just drowns in the YouTube algorithm. So yeah, I had a competition in which you had to do something to enter, and I posted it last week, and you had until now to do it, and then I drew the winners at the start of this video, and then now we're just hanging out and drawing duck dragons for some reason. I'll do another one if people are interested. I certainly got more entries than I did in my last art raffle, which I think I got 4 entries, so. But yeah, I have to leave space to do the Day of Dragons stuff, so I can't like do too many of them, because if I have too many of them, then I won't have time to do them because I still have to do my Day of Dragons work. Yeah, they are, but don't you want to see the feet? They're folded, Xanti. I could do them wider if you want. And are they feathered, or is this a not feathered dragon? Are we having feathered wings? You can make them wider. This is why we do it on a different layer, so I don't have to worry about mucking up everything. Fat wings? Feathers across. I should have known you were going to say that. Feathers. Feathered, folded dragon wings. Do we still want a front claw on the wing hand on the ground? Like a claw? What's my least favorite thing to draw? I like drawing feathers. They're fun. I just don't like drawing them on an entire dragon, because then the fun becomes not as fun. Now you can't see its little tail. Maybe I'll lift its tail up. Alright, I'm going to tidy this. Because I draw so messily, I usually double sketch. Why does it walk on its wings? I guess it still has the pads. Now, what are the chances of me not getting AI when I look up folded wing references? It's not too bad. Sometimes I have to search so hard to find non-AI art, and I don't really want to reference AI art because it's inherently flawed. So if I'm trying to learn something I don't know how to do, I don't want that learning to be from something that doesn't actually know what it's doing. Oh look, I found a duck wing reference. I'm gonna flip this because my reference is from the other side. Okay, all right. I'm gonna beef this wing up a little bit to make it look, because I don't know, like I'm trying to walk the line between dragon wing and just a duck wing. And so if people don't know, if I don't know how to draw something, I am going to look up a picture of it and reference it, because that's how you learn. It's different to tracing. I think tracing is okay if you're really struggling to get the right shape and you just need a little bit of help to get that right shape. But you can't just like trace someone's entire artwork and say, I drew this. And if I actually do end up tracing something, generally it's a piece of work that I won't actually share. Like, it's just for my own experience to learn how to draw that thing. Or I'll stamp all over it that, I traced this and here's the original and stuff. But I haven't really done that since I finished the first year of high school. I did a full trace, but yeah, I had a giant stamp down the bottom that said, I traced this. This is the person's original art. But yeah, people learn different ways, so. How's my duck dragon looking? I think it looks cute. Do you think it looks cute? Kind of just looks like a duck though. Now, I made it to, what if we have it, you can have a dragon mouth. Looks a bit sinister now. But yeah, see how much using a reference helped me? Because I just wasn't, that shape was just all wrong for the wings. And now it actually looks like wings. And now I'll remember this for next time. This is how you draw feathered duck wings. Thank you. I'm making the tail flick up because I want you to clearly see its cute little tail. I think I didn't make that long enough. I think I need to... This is where the butt is. So what's it like everywhere for everyone at the moment? Because as mentioned, I'm in Australia and we're having super hot days today. I think Melbourne's like going to be 41 degrees Celsius. Let me just look up what that is in Fahrenheit. Oh yeah, okay. So 41 degrees Celsius is 105 degrees Fahrenheit. And I live in Tasmania though, which is the very bottom of Australia and like the jumping off spot to go to Antarctica and stuff. So we're generally pretty cold. And even for us today, we're going to get 33 degrees Celsius. And I'll just Google that's Fahrenheit. So yeah, we're going to get like 91 degrees Fahrenheit today, which is very warm for Tasmania. There's no way it's snowing here. It's summer. 5 degrees. I think we established last time I spoke to you, Xanti, that weather is kind of a little similar sometimes. Or am I misremembering? Okay, duckfoot. Duckfoot. I'm going to do another layer because I don't like it. This is going bye-bye. I don't want to mess up the wings, so I'm going to do the duckfoot on another layer. Oops. Did I do that? I did the wing on another layer. We get snow on the mountain in winter. But I like in the capital of Tasmania, and the capital itself doesn't get very cold, but like inland Tasmania does, and the mountainous regions do. So, you know, we've got like a ski mountain and stuff. They get snow, but it rarely snows to sea level here. It's like a once in 100-year occurrence. That's happened twice since I moved here. That's, yeah. Go figure. My music stopped. Let me just fix that. Whoa. Yeah, the lowest we would get in winter would be like I'm on the warmer side of the river, so we probably only get down to the very lowest -3 will be the lowest we get in the middle of winter, but that's very cold. Normally during the day it would be like 5. But Tasmania has high winds. We get like the winds from the Southern Ocean. So a lot of the time you'll see, you know, weather says, 10 degrees feels like -2 because of the wind. After saying I knew what I was doing when I drew these foots originally, I decided they were too messy to continue drawing, and I just got rid of them. But now it's... So what do the wings are supposed to be on the ground, so this foot has to go back. It has to go back here, here. That's too far back. I think you're just not going to see them. Maybe you see one toe. Maybe I can sneak the other leg forward somehow. Duck stretch! No, that doesn't work. We're just gonna see a tiny bit of the foot. We'll just have to live with it. Duck dragon. Quack. I kind of like it. It's cute. Now, what color duck should this be? Do you want it to be the same colors as this duck? Duck. The legs. Too high compared to the body. No, it just crunches its knee more. But if the wings are on the ground, they can't be below the wings. It's just crouching. Actually, now that I've flipped it, this wing looks weird. Okay, duck colors. So we'll just have our little reference here. This amazing duck reference for our colors. Everybody happy with the duck dragon? Oh, I forgot about my coffee. I'll pitch it to them. I'm not the Carter's the concept artist. I did some concept work, but that was for the Mimicore dragon, and in the end they went back to Carter's designs, and some of the elements are still there. But yeah, there was a lot of toing and throwing with that dragon's design. So, but it looks super cute. But my contribution to that is the pictures she drew where it was sitting up and holding the leaf and drawing. Like, that was from a sketch I did. The other thing I did concept art for, which will be in game, is the Brood Watchers plant. I did the concept art for the bush and the fruit. Yeah, I'm mostly a Patreon rewards artist. So thank you, all you awesome people. You were drawing a duck dragon, as suggested by the chat. Xanti, I think, suggested duck originally. Did you also suggest duck dragon? Yeah, I think Carter did the throat one first, and then they switched her to do. She was doing some other concepts, and they wanted me to like try and do the. I did the moth, bat, dragon, lizard. So I like just took her concepts and like moved them in that direction because that's what people were asking for. We just kind of went down there for a little bit, but then they didn't like I know the community kind of liked them, but not everybody did. So they're just trying to find a balance, and so they got Carter to do some fresh, like completely unrelated ones, but still tiny bit related because there's some lore for it that has to be, you know, in all the concepts. And yeah, people really like the red panda one, so that's what they went for. Keep going back and reading the chat. Now, do I want to go all out or do I want to be lazy? I know what Xanti's going to say. I know what she's going to say. Yes, I can. I can be lazy. I can be lazy whenever I want. I am a very lazy person, which forces me to be very efficient because I don't want things to take longer than, I don't know, I don't want them to be long. So I find ways to make it take less time and don't always, you know, follow the straight instructions. I'll be like, oh, surely there's a faster way to do this. I got to get this done. So I'm a pretty good problem solver because of that, because I don't want to spend time doing stuff. So I find the quickest way to do stuff. I guess that's probably why I like Artflow so much, is because it's so simple. I don't have to go looking for stuff. I can do stuff quickly. It's all just here. It's just here. I can just click on it. I don't have to sort through a million menus. But yeah, when I say it was lazy or not, I was wondering if I should do my full grayscale coloring on this or if I should just color straight onto it. I think I'll color straight onto it. Sometimes I lose the brightness of the color if I do that. I'm a very truthful person, so I'm not going to lie about being lazy. What do mallards' wings look like? I need one with its wings open. Oh yeah, they've got that stripe. It's mostly hidden. I can unhide it. Come here, duck. Bright duck. Okay. Decisions. Can one of you ducks open your wings, please? That's the wrong direction. I'm just trying to find a picture with the wings slightly open so I can see where the colored bits are on Mallard's wings. That's an AI duck. There we go. Okay. I can figure this out. Actually a bit browner than I've done this. Okay. Yeah, again, sorry about the time zone. I didn't want to get up at 6 a.m. You have to watch it later because you have to see that I finished the duck dragon. I'll finish it. And I'm going to finish the Kitchen Raider dragon. Just you wait. Thanks for coming, Xanti. I think this needs to be brown. Maybe? Yes. I must not hum on stream. Oh, what color eyes should I give it? Anybody have eye color suggestions? All right. Oh. I'm merging layers. Duck. All right. It's time to get the smudge tool out. Let's make this duck more blended. Duck dragon, not just duck. I think my layer is a bit thin. I'm just going to duplicate it. I kind of really like this duck dragon. It's pretty cute. Thank you, everybody, for the suggestion. And thanks for joining and hanging around after the raffle. And yeah, as I mentioned before, feel free to ask me any questions or anything. Happy to answer. I'm trying to make the wings look a bit iridescent-y. They look a bit iridescent-y. Iridescent. Is that a... That's not a word, but... Iridescent-y. Iridescence. Yeah. Oops. Now, I generally don't ever use true black or true white or top corner red, because they're difficult to shade, especially if you want to, at the end of the picture, have like high highlights or really deep shadows. You want to save those things for then, because during this process I'm mixing a lot of colors and I'm adding lights and darks, and if you start with those colors, it's much more difficult to get like nice mix of stuff. How do these feathers go? They go like this. Yeah, feathers take a long time because they're very individual. And, you know, the body I can sort of get away with sort of just giving the idea of there's feathers here. Please just pretend you can tell there's feathers here. Like sort of doing this kind of thing where you just sort of do sort of clumps of feathers. But you can't really get away with that on wings. The wing feathers are usually quite individual. So that's why, especially if you like miniature, my husband does miniature painting as a living, and he charges a lot more for wings that are feathered because he has to paint each individual feather on the wing, so it takes a very long time. Where if like you're doing a like a dragon, like bat type wings, scaly wings, you kind of can just sort of do a full surface sort of thing. It kind of looks like fur more than feathers. I'll have to fix it. Oh yeah, it's a bit strong. Yeah, I like how our duck is looking. The smudge tool is like my favorite tool. I used to try and like transition colors super smoothly without using the smudge tool, like just teardropping colors in between all the time. But that takes a very long time. I used to do that when I used Photoshop, because I don't like the Photoshop smudge tool that much, so I didn't use it that much. But I love this smudge tool. It's just so nice. And then if I do need colors in between, I can still teardrop and clean stuff up. I just push colors around where I need them to be. Blend them in a bit. Make them look less slapped on. I'm gonna at one point have to decide what kind of background this duck is on, because I'm gonna have to start adding the surrounding colors to the dragon. Yeah, I feel like in art school, people were like against smudging. They're like, that's cheating. It's not cheating. It's totally not cheating. It's a legitimate way to blend colors. Actually, it's really good. Very little in drawing art is actually cheating. Like, you know, using texture brushes, it's great. It's an amazing time saver. Tracing helps you learn. Just don't pretend it's yours. That's all. Smudging, great way to blend colors. And people, you know, when they do real life paintings, like oil paintings and acrylic paintings, people smudge colors in when they do that. That's not really art though, is it? I don't really count that. There's no creative process in creating AI art. It's just an algorithm that just takes... It's even less artistic than making a collage out of a bunch of images yourself. Like if you like opened a magazine and cut out a bunch of pieces and glued them together, at least you decided where those pieces went. There was a great video on Instagram I saw that sort of explained why AI art is kind of bad to people. It was about sandwiches and I really liked it. I should share it on my channel. It was like someone was selling a sandwich for $1 or something and they're like, oh, I'll buy a sandwich for $1. It's not the best sandwich in the world. I'm like, oh, but it's made from the best ingredients. I'm like, oh, well, how can you sell it for $1 if it's made from the best ingredients? Like, oh, well, I just went to the stores where they have the ingredients. They've got them all on display and I snuck in there and I took them and I didn't pay for them. And then I put them all together and I gave them to you. Anyway, I explain it really bad. I'll after this I'll link it. Yeah, I think AI using AI to get like ideas is fine, except that it's still stolen a bunch of people's art. Like I still consider using it sometimes like, oh, it would be great to just sort of bring up a bunch of ideas, but I don't like giving money to it because you're giving money to someone who stole art. They didn't ask permission to scrape all that art. They just took it and they're using that information to create something that they're now selling, and the original artist didn't get any money. So if it's a free service as a tool, I don't mind, but a lot of it's not free. Like you have to pay for it, and it's definitely not ethically sourced. My husband's art got scraped. Like you can go to a site that tells you if your art's been taken, and like his stuff has been taken. I'm too small to be taken, so none of my art's been scraped. I also have my art in less places than he does. I think it's going to implode anyway, AI art. It's just AI in general. As more and more stuff is using AI starts referencing itself more and more. And when it does that, it just gets wildly weird. It's just not usable. And it's just like, you know, even search, like Google using AI search stuff, because it's not a person, it doesn't know the difference between, you know, humor or a fake article. So, you know, the famous stuff is like it referencing telling people to eat 1 to 2 rocks a day because it found an article on The Onion about eating rocks. But The Onion is a joke news site. So it's not, it's ridiculous. So yeah, my search engine now has the permanent AI answers, and I just scroll straight past it because it's often wrong. It's sad. I mean, the internet shouldn't be fully trusted ever, but it's becoming less trustworthy. There's more stuff that's just spat out by AI, that's referenced by stuff that's not true, but it acts like it presents it to you in a way like it's true, but it's not. You know, my theory is it'll come to a point in which it won't be worth anything anymore. It won't be trusted enough to be used on a wild scale basis, and people will stop using it, and then it'll be gone. Now, which direction should that direction, right? This way. It's a shame because I feel like the AI art stuff, if it had been ethically sourced, could be, you know, I would use it. I would use it to generate ideas that I could then draw my own drawings from. If I could trust it more, I'd probably even use it to find references, but it can't really be trusted for that, unfortunately. Because it, you know, it's people's art is flawed. Like my art's definitely flawed, and it can't tell the differences between what part of the art is flawed and what's not flawed. So it can end up just folding the flaws in on itself. It can't really be used for referencing if you're actually trying to get better at something and do a more realistic thing. I would not be using AI art for that. Yeah, I like watching my art evolve too. It's really satisfying, and it's really nice sometimes to just be doing something I don't have a time limit on, and it's not really for anyone, so it doesn't matter if I change colors partway through or I decide to change something. It's just really relaxing, and I really like I've been drawing for 21 years. I've been drawing a long time, but for the first 10 years, I didn't like my painting style, and I was trying to get to a point in which I had a style that actually enjoyed painting in. Like, it used to just be a pretty big chore for me to try and get colors on the page. Like, it's very robotic almost. So only sort of like in 2013 did I really find my painting style, and I super love it. Like, it feels like I'm painting with real paint. It feels like, I don't know how to explain this, blobby. It feels like blobby to me. I can slap it down and smudge it around, mix in all different colors, and I just really like that. But yeah, the other thing about art that you might know now, because I just mentioned how long I've been drawing for and how long I've been trying to get an art style down, is that it takes a long time and it takes practice, and you can't expect to just draw perfect on the first day. You kind of have to have a lot of patience, and in my case, I'm very stubborn, so I don't like giving up on things. So my stubbornness meant that I never quite gave up on art. There was a long time in which I didn't do any art. I didn't have time and I wasn't motivated to do it. But yeah, I didn't completely stop. So I always had sort of like a little bit going on. Yeah. Sometimes you have bad drawing days though. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, I just can't draw today. And I try to draw a head and it's all wonky. And I'm like, but I have, no, because this is my job. Some of this is my job. So I can't not do it. If I've got a day in which I've got to draw things for someone or a business, I've got to draw it. I can't not draw it. So on my bad drawing days in the past, it'd just be like, I'm just not going to draw today. I can't do that anymore. So I kind of have to like force myself to do it. And it's fine. It just takes me longer. Like, I still get there. I still get to the point I want it to be at. It just takes me longer to get there because I have to like redraw stuff and like move stuff around with the transform tool and more. But definitely I have good and bad days with art. Like, there'll just be times where I'm just not in the right, I don't know, something in my brain is just like, no, you can't draw today, so you're just gonna have to try extra hard to actually be able to draw anything. Yeah. Yeah, when it's your job, you kind of can't get around it. Like, you have no choice. You have to do it. So that's a great motivator. If you don't do it, you don't eat. But certainly, yes, I was very unmotivated for a lot of years, especially in my transition from, because I used to do a lot of anthro art and fairy art. And I kind of just fell into that fandom and doing that because all my friends were, but I wasn't like truly part of it. I didn't really, like, I like drawing it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy drawing a wolf face or a cat face, or my character was a dingo thylacine fox hybrid, with the brightest colors you've ever seen. And that was fun to draw and stuff, but it wasn't really what I loved drawing. And I decided I wanted to draw fantasy stuff, like, you know, like generic fantasy stuff, like D&D stuff and elves and magical unicorns and stuff. I decided I wanted to shift to doing that, but I had very little practice drawing people heads, so they all looked awful and I hated them all, and I didn't show anyone because I didn't like the art I was drawing. But if you don't draw it, you don't get better at it. So you kind of can't just go, well, you know, I just won't do it until I'm better at it. You have to keep doing it or you won't be better at it. And you can fall into this trap, and I know someone who does this. You can fall into this trap where you just never show anybody your art ever again because you don't like it and you think it's bad, and you just keep trying to improve it, and you are improving, but sometimes you can't see that, especially if you don't have other people looking. And you know, if you get stuck, it does help sometimes to get an outside perspective to like help you find what's wrong. If there even is anything wrong, sometimes it's just something you have to accept, that you're never going to be perfect. Certainly, I had to stop, and I'll be drawing something, and I'll be like, oh, if I just work on this bit a little, I don't quite like this bit, I'll work on this longer, I'll work on that longer, and then you're just working on it forever because it's never perfect. It'll never be what you see in your mind. None of my art it's never ever been even close to what I imagined in my mind. But I just came to accept that it won't, that's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be finished. Because if you don't finish it, you don't move on to the next thing. You don't get more practice. You don't get better. So I just get to a point now where you have to be, this is done enough. I'm calling this finish. It's done. Upload it, share it, see what people think. Go on to the next thing. I quite like this duck though. I mean, I struggled with these wings in the beginning, but I think they look pretty good now. But yeah, there's artwork in my galleries that I hate looking at, but I won't take them down because they're evidence of where I've come from. It sort of lets people see that I didn't start like this. I started doing scribbles, so. And I hear a lot of people say, oh, you're so talented. And it's a little bit of a pet hate of mine when people say that, because a lot of people say that without knowing how long I've actually been drawing for, like how much time I've spent into doing this. And my other job, I work as a receptionist / call center for a medical center. So I work with nurses, and they say, oh, you're so talented. I'm like, oh, you're very talented too. And they're like, oh no, I studied for this. I only know how to be a good nurse because I went to a school and I did a degree and stuff. I'm like, well, I only know how to be an artist because I did it for 20 years. So it's, yes, some people are talented. And I will say, like, I think I have a good eye for color, and that's a talent, but actually continually to draw and continuing to improve is something I learnt. It's not something that just, like, I just pulled out of my behind or anything. You also got to be careful of comparing yourself to other people. Again, this comes down to not knowing how long that person's actually spent on their art, or, art is subjective as well. So you might not like what your picture looks like, but someone else might actually really love it. And if you hadn't shared it with them, you wouldn't have brought them that, like, little bit of joy. Or if you've drawn something for someone, you might not like it, but they might love it. Like, I draw things for people sometimes, and I make suggestions, and I say, oh, I think it'll be good this way, we should do it this way. And they're like, oh no, can I have it this way instead? And I'm like, okay, I don't know if that'll look good. But then I do it, and then it does look good. And I only learnt that looked good because somebody else had input into my art and suggested it, and I did it. And not only was it the way they wanted it, but it still looked good. Just because it's something I didn't think of and didn't think would look good doesn't mean you shouldn't try it anyway. Everyone has different opinions and different views, and you gotta accept them and grow and stuff. I'm kind of rambling. I think, I should probably do the foot, huh? We're getting close to being done, but this foot needs some attention. You can see by the number down the bottom, I draw way too zoomed in. I just have to be close to my pictures, okay? I'm only over 500% zoomed in. It's fine. Now I actually super like shading claws. I like making them really dark and then having different colors highlighting them or reflecting off them. So, and I often take colors from the surrounding areas. So I've just taken some gray from this wing to do the top sort of shine. I should probably make it a little less crunchy. Whoops, that's the eraser. Does that mean I erased that? Yeah, I probably did. Let's undo that. Let's try again. Well, that's a one problem with having a gray background is sometimes I shade with gray and I don't notice that I've chosen the eraser instead of the pen, and then I go to add a background and suddenly there's a whole bunch of holes in my picture. Yeah. See, I just love that. It's just so pleasing to me. Just having this color from underneath. And if there was grass underneath this duck, which I might still, I'm just going to add a touch of green. Just a touch. No, that's too much green. Let's try again. Darker. There. And then we're going to add a bit more brightness from here. Cool. Duck foot. Oh, I'm gonna fix the eye a little bit. It's a little bit flat. But I'm gonna give this bill a bit more shine. Yeah, that's partly why I do this. You know, I record all of my drawings because sometimes you need to watch the whole thing. I don't think people would watch, you know, 2 hours of drawing. So I speed them up so they're a bit harder to see. But occasionally I will upload like a full, I usually do it at two times speed because that's still pretty watchable at 2 times speed. So people can really see how I'm doing stuff if they want to try emulate that sort of style and see exactly what I'm doing. It's the other reason that I don't do, like a lot of people just use the program's inbuilt time-lapse feature, which is the ones you see where the picture doesn't move. Like, you know how you can see me moving this and you can see me opening menus. Usually the inbuilt time-lapse features don't do that. They'll just be stationary and you'll just see the picture draw. You won't see any of the tools. You won't see the pen. You won't see if they've grabbed the transform tool to move anything, which is fun to watch, but doesn't really help if you're trying to learn how things are done. It just looks really pretty. That's why I like having the full screen available to people. So if you are trying to learn and you do want to see precisely how I did something, the tools are recorded. You could pause it if you wanted to and have a look at, see exactly what I was doing at what point to achieve what I did. It's all there if you want to look at it. But I do know, which is why all my videos have a warning on them, that speeding up time-lapse videos that move like this can be very, they can make you seasick, and if I'm turning things on and off all the time, then they flash, which people, you know, who have light sensitivity, that's like, they need to be warned of that. So that's why all my videos have a flash warning on them, unless it is a unsped up time-lapse, which I rarely do. But the biggest thing I find that makes my art pop is this reflected light stuff. It just makes things look 3D. So if you want to try take your art to the next level and you're not doing this, I highly recommend it. All you need to do is take a color from the background. In this case, I've been using gray, or the color from the wings, and you can see like on the underside here, I've mixed in some of the gray onto the belly of the bird dragon. It just makes it look so much more three-dimensional. Without it, it looks a lot flatter. It still looks fine, but it looks better with it. And so when I'm getting to the final stages of coloring, I do have to start thinking about backgrounds and what's around the creature, so I can start integrating those colors and make it look like, one, it's part of the environment, and two, more three-dimensional. Oh, hey, V-Bean. You made it. I'm nearly done with my duck dragon, though. Yeah, I used to have in my videos, I used to painstakingly go through and have a pop-up telling everybody what tool I was using at each time. But that just adds so much work to what I was doing. Like, you know, a video would take me, if I did say a 2-hour speed paint, editing the video would take me 4 hours, because I'd have to go through and look at what I did and put a little pop-up to say what brush I use. And honestly, I didn't know if anybody cared. I didn't know if people actually cared, if that was there or not. So I kind of stopped doing it. But if people do like that, if they did like seeing a little pop-up saying what tool I was using, I'm happy to put it back in. It won't be in the avatar videos, the Day Dragon ones, because they're all really quick time lapses that I don't have time to do it for all of them. But for my own, you know, for my bigger commissions or my own little speed paints, I could pop it back in. But yeah, if you go back to my older stuff, you'll see that I actually do have pop-ups that tells you what brush I'm using. Now, I know Xanti will be disappointed, but I think I'm going to do a lazy background. Oh, this wing's a little chunky. I'm going to smudge it in a bit more. Oh, my music ended again. The only problem with older stuff is it's not as good as my new stuff. Like, you know, drawing non-stop for 2 years as your job does mean you improve quite quickly, which is really nice, because I didn't feel like I'd improved in like 15 years. So it's been lovely to see improvements just in drawing dragon body shapes alone. But that's the other thing, I understand that for a lot of artists, unless it's your job, you don't actually have much time to draw enough to see improvement, and that can be frustrating. But you kind of just have to not give up. Or find time. As I said before, using the tablet for me, the Android tablet, meant that I continued to draw where I wouldn't have otherwise, because I couldn't be bothered turning on the computer. I worked at a job where I was on a computer all day, and when I got home, I didn't want to be at another computer. So just having the tablet and drawing, whilst I was watching a TV show, just meant that I didn't stop drawing. I continued to have some way I could draw. What was I doing? I think I was gonna do a lazy background. Oh, he's OG duck. So you can sort of see here my OG duck. This is the starting point. So if I'm not doing grayscale coloring, I'll like, this is the starting point for full color coloring, and I just slap colors down, and then I'll smudge them in, and then I'll just go back and forth and like color pick colors and add colors in and smudge them in again until we get to Duck Dragon stage. But grayscale coloring is, I'll show you what that is. So normally I'll just do the flat colors, and then I'll duplicate that layer, and like the bottom one grayscale and the top one will be made into a color layer. Oh, my head's in the way. Hold on, I have to turn my tablet sideways. I can't get it. Oh, I can move my head. There we go. I didn't know I could do that. Alright, so yeah, I've selected color layer, and that means the color is applied to the gray tones underneath. Now, you didn't really see much change here because the values are already there. I've already shaded it, but normally after I've done that, I would just shade it all in grayscale and then turn the colors back on. And what that does is it allows you to freedom to change the colors that you're using without changing the shading underneath. So like if I use this color layer now, I could just decide, oh, you know what? I want some yellow. I want this to be a brownie, this brown to be yellow. Now it's yellow. You can make the whole duck yellow. Now it's a yellow duck. Ta-da. Yeah, also turning a clipping layer on would help. Ta-da, yellow duck. But anyway, that's not what we decided to do. So I did a full color layer instead of... I find using the grayscale coloring technique helps me define the shapes better because I'm not worried about where to put the colors. But generally I will, if I do that, I will merge the color layer and the grayscale layer together at the end, and then I'll go through and I'll repaint some of the areas. And usually I'll add the reflected, like the bouncing light, like this bit on the chest. I usually add that after I've merged the layers and I'm just looking at colors. Yeah, gold skin. Interestingly, I rarely do gold or metallics with the grayscale method. I find it too difficult because it has to make gold look good. It has to have it's very reflective, so you are integrating a lot of colors from around the place. So normally, and if you I don't know, maybe somebody has watched all of my avatar videos, but if you look at them, you might find occasionally I do an entirely metallic one. I don't do grayscale when I do that. I usually just full color it because metallics for me are easier if I'm just going straight to the colors. So I've been mixing in a lot of gray blues, so I think that's just what I'll do for my duck. I'm going to use this custom brush I made, because I like its crunchy look. Don't tell Xanti I got lazy. Shadows help. And I'm going to smudge it because I like doing that. But I'm going to change the smudge to the same brush I used to put the paint down because I want it to look crunchy. I don't want it to lose too much of the crunchiness. But I want to just mix in some colors a bit. And then I'm also going to do the same thing with the eraser. Crunchy. Yeah, that's right. Time efficient. That's it. Now you're getting it. All right, I'm gonna do final highlights. Hi, this is final highlights is when I use top tier colors. So you can see when I say top tier, I mean like the corners. Generally, I won't use these corners because, especially red, it's very difficult to shade red of this color. Especially if you're using the grayscale method, it just turns out gross. Red in general is, in my opinion, the hardest color to shade properly and make it look good. So, but, you know, a lot of people like red. It's a good color. But generally, if I'm coloring something red, I'll have the color around like here. So it's easier to shade. And then at the end, if I want things to pop, then I'll get the top tier and I'll just add like a sprinkling of top tier color in. But I'm doing shines, so I'm going to use the top tier white for things like eye shines and like beak and claw, just to make some points in which the light, it hits the, probably too zoomed in. So generally with the top shine, I'll just put it in places I want people to be drawn to, or if I think the shape isn't defined enough in that area, like normally I'll put a bit around the mouth so you can see that's definitely where the mouth is. And eye shines anywhere where it would be wet, like if they've got an open mouth or something. I don't like that. I'm just going to leave the top shine, the top part. That's a bit much. We'll just put a little bit here. I'll probably use purple there. I'm putting on smoothing because I want a smooth straight line, and as mentioned at the start of the video, I have slight shake to my hand, so I actually can't draw straight lines. So I have a stabilizer, or this, it's called smooth in here, and you can adjust like how much it's helping. I only need a little bit of help because I'm just going to do a quick line. The problem with using stabilizers, I find though, is you don't get a very nice end to them. See, it sort of doesn't taper that much. Where with it off, they can fade out like a lot easier. So I generally have it off and just live with the fact that my stuff is messy. But that's why I decided to go down this path and have this style, is because that works well with how I can hold my pen. Now my husband has a completely different style to me, miles apart. He does cell shading, so that's where you have very solid shading with clear lines in between the dark and light, and he always, all of his stuff is inked with thin black lines. But he has very, very steady hands, which is why it's also a good miniature painter, because he can get the thin highlight lines on the models, the very small models, in one go. Where with me, I would muck it up 5 times, paint over it, and then try to do it again and fail, paint over it again, and then ask him to do it instead. I think his head's a little flat, so I'm just going to add a little bit more of the reflected, just bring it in a little more. Oops, I forgot I changed the smudge tool. Oh, it's on a different layer, so it doesn't smudge good. I'm just going to drop this down to the layer below. That's better. Do we think that dragon's done? Is there anything I need to? Oh, I was gonna add bright freaking purple. Just a touch. Maybe blue as well. Okay, I'm calling Duck Dragon done. Yeah, smudge tool changed my life. You need to have a good one though. Like a lot of these are fun to use, a lot of these smudges, but I particularly like the felt marker as my smudge tool. The reason for that is it has a bit of crunchiness to it, so it pulls more. I'll just save this real quick. I'll show you what I mean. I'll show you what I mean, what I really mean. So we'll just chuck some colors here. An amazing color blend. I need more. Needs to be more. We need more space. for this example. So with this smudge tool, I don't know, it just has a nice, see how it's sort of like I pull down and it has like a nice texture to it. So pulling up, and then if I sort of go up and down, it mixes it like that. Or you can go along the line and sort of just make it blurry. If I go back and forth a bit, it just pulls really nicely, and you can, so just pulls and pushes nice, and I can mix the colors, and if I wanted to I could teardrop the in-between color, and now I've got that, and I can smudge that in too and make another in-between color. So I just really like how that brush does that. If we have a look at the other smudge options, and I think this is usually what smudge tools are set to, default, is like a soft brush, like the one above it, the soft marker. It doesn't really have much texture, it's just very soft, which does give a very soft smudge. But see how it doesn't really pull very nice? I don't get a nice wide mixing pull, and I really have to put a lot of effort into mixing these up, and you can see it doesn't really mix them very nice. It doesn't make a nice, it's sort of even distorting it, the colors in between. It's not mixing them. So unfortunately, I think a lot of smudge tools are set to that. So if you're having this problem and you want a nicer smudge, I recommend looking at the smudge options and seeing if there's something more like the felt marker, which is a bit grainy. Even, you know, like chalk probably smudges better. It gives a lot more grain in that, and if you want more grain, then look for more grainy one. But I find this smudging much more appealing than just a smooth one. Just my opinion, but you know, that's what I'd recommend. Alright, so the very last thing I do on a drawing is I put my name to it. So I have my custom brush pen, is my go-to sign pen at the moment. And what am I going to sign in? Maybe this color, a touch darker than this. And if you look at my old stuff, I actually have had 3 different signing names. In my very, very early days, when I was drawing furry and anthro art, I used love hearts and lollipops. And I drew a lollipop, like a flat lollipop, with 2 hearts either side of it, and it sort of looks like a rose or something. And then I went to Tali, which is my middle name. But recently, this year, I decided to change to Ztali, since that's my username, like everywhere. And it means that if someone sees my drawing and they see Ztali on it, they can search Ztali and they'll find me. Or if they just search Tali, they're never going to find me. So now I sign with Ztali. And I usually put the year. Now it's done. Duck is done. Now I'm not going to export it on stream, because if I do that, you'll see my gallery, which is full of secrets. You're not allowed to see it, I'm afraid. All right, well, I think we're going to call it there. I've been uploaded. That took 2 hours. Does anybody have any final questions or anything they want to ask before we finish up? This doesn't really look much like a dragon now that I think about it. It kind of just looks like a duck. Oh well, I tried. Alright, I'm going to call it there. I've got to somehow remember how to turn off this stream now, because it's a bit different using the tablet to the computer. It's a dragon at heart. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's, if you look closely at its head, it's not a duck. And its wings are supposed to be on the ground, but they kind of just look like it's half opened them. And ducks' tails aren't that long. Just saying. All right. Well, thanks everybody. This has been great. It's been really cool to have you all hang out with me, and thank you everyone who participated in my win art thing. I definitely am going to do another one in the new year. So look out for that. And I'll probably give a bit more time because I didn't give quite a week for this one. So sorry if anybody missed out. It's just I was well aware that Christmas was approaching and I want to finish the prizes before Christmas. So I had to get that video out and do the draw so I knew who I was drawing for and they'd have the chance to have their art drawn before Christmas. Well, thanks everybody for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, that'd be great. And if anybody is interested, I do have a Patreon. If you want to support me, being a Patreon member does, on the second tier or above, does give you a discount to commission rates. If you'd like to commission me, I do have those prices on my Instagram. Oh, I think I have them on my Instagram. I better double check that. They're definitely on my DA and my Cara. But yeah, commissions are open. I'm not taking any huge commissions, so I don't have a lot of time to do gigantic commissions at the moment, but any of the small ones, just inquire. And thanks again, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.